Hello, man. I'm here to talk about misunderstandings of Operation Timothy from CBMC. I think many men misunderstand Operation Timothy in a couple of ways. One, they think it's a study that they have to walk a man through starting in Lesson 1, Book 1. And what happens and what I've observed is that they grow tired of how simple and basic it is, and they don't feel challenged enough. And so they stop. Whether it is the Paul or the Timothy, they stop in their progress through it. Now, men, I see things differently when it comes to Operation Timothy. And I've actually been in a Timothy relationship with a Paul going through Operation Timothy for over 2.5 years. And we are just in book 2. So Operation Timothy has a lot more to it than we suppose. And that leads us to the second reason that I believe men misunderstand the purpose of Operation Timothy. It's not that there aren't other resources out there. There are. But I believe what sets Operation Timothy apart is how it guides men, the Paul and the Timothy, into and through and in deeper relationship with Jesus Christ and with another man. Have you thought about it that me as a Timothy, been a Christian for over 35 years and started in this relationship a little over 2.5 years ago, and we're only in book 2? Doesn't seem to make sense, does it? It does when you think about this man and I coming together and talking about our life and our life in Christ, that sometimes those conversations are more meaningful and deeper for us and where God leads us than going through the lesson at that point. But we always come back to it. It's a great guide for that. So this leads us to the reason that I think Operation Timothy is misunderstood by most men who already have a fair foundation in the basics of the Christian faith. Please hear me on this, men. The reason that Operation Timothy is misunderstood is the purpose of Operation Timothy is misunderstood. Yes, it's an outstanding resource for the new believer, for the man who did not grow up in church, for the man who has not done a lot of study, for the man who has not sat in church underneath dozens or hundreds of sermons. But for the man who already has all of that listening or hearing, here's where Operation Timothy has its value. In training you as the Paul and even as the Timothy, training you in how to have a spiritual conversation with another man that goes below the superficial. That's the power of Operation Timothy. That on our own, men, we just don't have that kind of skill, most all of us, to sit with another man and have a deep level spiritual conversation. And that's what Operation Timothy provides. It actually provides training in how to have those conversations so that you can disciple men in other situations and using other tools. In other words, Operation Timothy, in the framework and how well it's designed, and it is a beautiful tool for that. It helps you grow, men, whether as a Paul or a Timothy, grow into a man who is a very skilled discipler of other men. And one more thing about Operation Timothy. I would suggest ordering the print copy so that you can look through it with a Paul or a Timothy and find topics to talk about deeply. Here are some examples. What does God care about? You think that won't generate some good, deep discussion if you really think about it and ponder it? How about this one? What promises does God make, and how are these promises relevant to your life? Here's another one. If God cares so much, why is life so hard at times? And this one. What else is left for Jesus to do? These questions came right out of book 1. So men, pray about having a relationship, a Paul or a Timothy relationship, using Operation Timothy. Ask God where he wants to lead you to grow as a discipler of other men. Because here's another benefit. When you grow and you can disciple other men, you can talk deeply about spiritual issues and life with other men, then you can talk about it with your children and your grandchildren and your wife. Do you see? Do you see how God is growing us up as living stones in his holy temple? This is so important to every one of you. Take a closer look at Operation Timothy and see if what I've said is true. And you'll find that God is faithful. God bless you, man, as you step forward and as you walk with Christ on this journey. And enjoy using this tool called Operation Timothy.